Big news. According to a top JP Morgan strategist, Joe Biden is expected to withdraw from the 2024 presidential election due to health concerns. Now, don't go celebrating just yet, but I think just about anybody with a brain can see the writing on the wall with the Biden administration. The Biden administration is a zombified administration. Joe Biden, he is not a leader. He is a shell of a human being. He is old. He is tired. He is senile. He is decrepit. And every time he opens his mouth, it's an embarrassment to the country, quite frankly. But this article goes into this prediction by this analyst. And headline goes, Joe Biden will pull out of 2024 election on health grounds as approval rating plummets. Polling paints a bleak picture for Joe Biden as Americans lose faith in his leadership. Now, it says, as Americans lose faith in his leadership. Now, I don't think America really ever had faith in a Joe Biden presidency or had any faith in his leadership abilities. There was a lot of sketchy things that happened in the 2020 election that got Joe Biden elected. A lot of really weird things, and the people that did vote for him, I think, just voted against President Trump. So for them to say that is kind of funny, but let's get into this article and see if there's any meat to what is going on here, if there's any proof. So U.S. President Joe Biden will pull out of the running for the 2024 election on health grounds, a top JP Morgan strategist has predicted. And this strategist is named Michael Kimblast. He has made 10 surprise predictions for 2024, and number 3 on the list is his hunch on President Biden abandoning his hopes for a second term in office. Now, I love how he's making these giant predictions and acting like, ooh, this is something that I predict, and this is something that everyone thinks is a surprise. No, I feel like most people kind of have a sneaking suspicion that something is going to happen before the election, maybe right after Super Tuesday or something like that. It's got to happen pretty soon, where Joe Biden is going to be unable to actually run for office because really he is already, looking at him, I would say, not fit for office. You hear him talk, you watch him walk, you see him. What was that joke that comedian did about how as soon as Joe Biden finishes his speech, he turns into a Roomba and he walks around aimlessly around the stage. It's so funny. But I don't think anybody would be surprised, and I think anybody with a brain can make this prediction. I made this prediction months ago, and I've heard many other people make this prediction. I was not the only one, so everyone's making this prediction. But he added that Mr. Biden will withdraw from after Super Tuesday when the majority of the states hold primary elections and caucuses. So he is predicting right after Super Tuesday or somewhere around Super Tuesday, Joe Biden will withdraw. And he is saying that after blaming poor health for the decision, Mr. Biden will let the Democratic National Committee decide who steps in for him for the 2024 election. So he is saying there is going to be a health concern, and Joe Biden is going to withdraw from the nomination. So that's very interesting. They're not going to take him off the ballot. Joe Biden is just gonna withdraw. The JP Morgan heavyweight added, Biden has a low approval rating for a president, 10% job creation since his inauguration, although that figure is the byproduct of his inauguration coinciding with the rollout of COVID vaccines and a reopening U.S. economy. Kimblast also believes that the president's poor polling will play a big role in his decision. A recent survey by the New York Times and Siena College in November found that just 37% of people say they trust Mr. Biden with the economy. That's pretty low. I mean, it's not very surprising. I mean, you look around, gas prices are at an all-time high. Well, right now, I guess they went down a little bit, but gas prices for the longest time, for years, they were really, really high. grocery prices really, really high. So I don't think anybody could really have a whole lot of faith in Joe Biden and his economy. Speculation around Mr. Biden's state of mind raised its head again this week after Mr. Biden seemed confused while on stage at Valley Forge in Pennsylvania. So yeah, this is all speculations, but it's kind of easy to see how anyone could draw the conclusion that Joe Biden will not run for a second term because he is old, he's senile, and just any rational person could see what is going on with Joe Biden. And they try to paint a pretty picture through the media. The media runs cover for Joe Biden, and his press secretary, she is always saying things that, build Joe Biden up or try to, pull the wool over people's eyes. But when any normal person, if they look at Joe Biden, and they see how he talks, how he acts, how he walks around stage, and how he interacts with people, there's something wrong there, and that he should not be in this position that he is in. It's sad almost watching him, and so many people hate Joe Biden, but when it really comes down to it, he's just propped up like a puppet, and this puppet, it's starting to show. The cracks are starting to show to the wider public, and they can't risk any more of those cracks showing because the public can see what's going on with Joe Biden, and it's like a glitch in the Matrix when you watch him. It's almost too obvious that he is controlled, that he is an empty suit, and the public knows this. Even the Democratic Party, the Democrats know this. So risking a second term where it's going to go completely mask off, I don't think is something that they can do. But what do you guys think? Do you think Joe Biden will run for a second term? Or do you think that someone like Gavin Newsom is going to step up and be the Democrat nominee? Let me know down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, we will see you on the next one.